Good morning. Welcome to Unity Longmont Spiritual Center on May 16th, 2021. And we are blessed to have Reverend Dan Kendrick to provide us with a talk and meditation. And Teresa Storch will be providing us with beautiful music. So we'll start with a piece of music, please.
Hi, okay. I'm going to be brave and play a brand new song. I just wrote this in a songwriting course, and it's dedicated to my sister, but it can be for anyone who's a mirror to you in your life, because she's like a mirror to me. Pardon me. You are a mirror. When I see you, I can almost see me. People think I'm you mistakenly. A bit taller, and you've got 4 years on me. You look like me, just differently. You are a mirror of the wildflowers you find. Your photos of bluebells and columbine. Hiking the Colorado wild. Your shimmering hair and brilliant smile. You are a mirror. Am I like you? Could I be your reflection too? As honest and as true. You are a mirror of the beautiful boys you've raised, and kind and smart and strong and brave. It's been hard to find your way. You know you've done well when you watch them drive away. You are a mirror I can bounce ideas off of. On my wavelength, you know where I come from. Raised by the same family, you return that same love back to me. You are a mirror. Am I like you? Could I be your reflection too? As honest and as true. And when your surface cracked and shattered, you picked up the shards and gathered them until you found a brand new pattern to build your life from. You are a mirror illuminating us, a silver soul, a clear supporting trust, and nothing superfluous, deflecting the light and giving us the focus. You are a mirror. Am I like you? Could I be your reflection too? As honest and as true. Am I a mirror? Am I like you? Could I be your reflection too? As honest and as true. You are a mirror.
Thank you, Teresa.
Thanks for letting me
So
do
we
this.
go into prayer together by taking a breath. Beloved presence, we join today in the beautiful state of Colorado, where spring is showing itself beautifully. Things are blossoming, as are we. The skies shift and move, as do we. We are so joyous to see each other's faces and to remember that we are all mirrors for each other because we are all one. And so it is. And we have another piece of music, please.
Okay. Well, I was feeling this song today. It's a cover song. You might know it. But it's from the '80s, so that's my era. Is the '80s. Do I need to be louder, David, or do you need me? Am I good now? Okay. So feel free to sing along if you know it. You might not. Many times I've tried to tell you, many times I've cried alone. Always I'm surprised how well you cut my feelings to the bone. I don't want to leave you really. I've invested too much time to give you up that easy to the doubts that complicate your mind. We belong to the light, we belong to the thunder. We belong to the sound of the words we've both fallen under. And whenever we deny or embrace for worse or for better, we belong together, don't we? Maybe it's a sign of weakness when I don't know what to say. Maybe I just wouldn't know what to do with my strength anyway. Have we become a habit? Do we distort the facts? No, there's no looking forward. Now there's no turning back when we say we belong to the light, we belong to the thunder. And we belong to the sound of the words we're both falling under. And whenever we deny or embrace for worse or for better, we belong together. Close your eyes and try to sleep now. Close your eyes and try to dream. Clear your mind and do your best to try and wipe the palette clean. We can't begin to notice how much we really care. I hear your voice inside me. I see your face everywhere when we say we belong to the light, we belong to the thunder. And we belong to the sound of the words we're both falling under. And whenever we deny or embrace for worse or for better, we belong together. We belong together. We belong together.
Thank you, Teresa. And now let us open our hearts and share our attention with Reverend Dan Kendrick, who will speak to us and lead us in meditation.
Well, again, good morning to everyone. It is good to be here. It struck me early on how I consider what we're doing to be sacred. And also there's a lot of gratitude in my heart that we have a mechanism here in this physical world, if we make use of it, to tune in to the things of spirit. And there's a principle where two or more are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them. I was reminded of a passage, I think towards a time Jesus was about to leave this physical world, at least in his body was about to leave. His consciousness obviously is alive and well. But he said, don't worry, I'm not going to leave you alone. In fact, I'm going to send you a comforter. And I don't know about you, but I can definitely use a comforter. So I hope you use this time. If you could use a comforter, just to allow that comfort to come to you. It can be a simple process of just receiving, simple receiving, opening. You can use your imagination to envision the light touching to you and touching to all parts of you physically. If there's anything physically that's hurting, aching, any health issues, just see the light touching, coming into those areas. And realizing the light does the work. You don't have to know how it happens or if it's going to happen, just that you ask and you open and just envision the light touching to any areas physically you might need healing or balancing. And if there's anything in the emotions, any anxiety, anything that appears to be out of your control, if you choose, you can ask the light to touch into that area, into your emotions, also your thoughts, your mind. Could even see the light touching into the unconscious or subconscious, bringing peace, completion to any incompletions. Just continue to open yourself as I also open myself to the ministry of the Christ that's here present this day, in this moment. It's a ministry of loving. And know you are loved. You are embraced by the Christ. That you are seen as the beloved of God. Highly treasured, deeply valued. respect it. So just now, Father, Mother, God, we ask your continued presence. We call ourselves forward into your presence, knowing you are here. You're with us. You're loving us just as we are. And we do ask that whatever would be for our highest good, individually and as a group, we ask that that be done now. In the name of the Christ. And through your Spirit. And so it is. Well, my experience now, if anything else is said or not, I'm experiencing the presence of the Spirit here. So as long as that's happening, that's the most important thing as I see it. I actually listened to one of my talks. I went to YouTube the other day. I got up enough courage to give it a listen. I can't remember one thing I said, but one thing I do remember is the Spirit of God was present. And I thought that was kind of interesting. So I guess the question is, well, when is the Spirit of God present? And I guess the answer to that is, the answer is always now. Now, now, now. This now, next now. So then these questions keep coming. So if the Spirit of God is present now, why are there times I don't know that? Well, that sounds like a really good question. And I'm talking to myself also. Maybe I could repeat it again. If God is present now all the time, why are there times that I don't know that? If you can get the answer to that question, get the information for yourself, make the correction, then I think it would follow you would be experiencing more of the awareness of the presence of God now. Sometimes it's just a matter of making a conscious choice to move in that direction. Kate, my wife, and I were visiting her mom last night. And Kate spent the night, and I came home. Her mom lives in Boulder. We live in Longmont. Before I left, though, sometimes it can be challenging, with Kate to be with her mom. Other times not. But just before I left, she was getting her room ready. I went up to say goodbye, and I said, "Why don't we call in the light?" And really, as I see it, to be more accurate, it's not so much, as I see it, calling in the light, but more, what if we called ourselves forward into the light? What if we took a moment to place our awareness in the light and see what happens? What an idea. Can it be that simple? Is there anything any more simple than that? So I just held my arms out, extend in her bedroom. We were standing there together. And suddenly we were standing in the presence of the light. I'll reword that to be more accurate. Suddenly we were aware. We were standing in the presence of the light. And the contrast was remarkable. The question is, well, if it was that simple, then you were aware suddenly of standing in the presence of the light. Why didn't you have that? Why weren't you having that experience 15 minutes before that when you were reading your grandfather's mystery novel to Kate's mom out loud? Well, I think it's obvious we must be here to practice, because it seems like there's opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to practice coming into the awareness of the light in a myriad of different situations. And it's not so much that I lose the awareness of the light or step outside that awareness. It's just that all I have to do is step into the awareness one more time. Then I've left the awareness. Just one more time. It reminds me of a story I read a long time ago, but of a father who owned a store, and his sons were part of the business, and the father was on his deathbed, and all of his sons were gathered around him. And he looked up and noticed, all my sons are here. There's no one keeping the store. And he died. So what's the point? I think the point to me is that, is there anything I'm putting between me and my awareness of the light? Is there anything I'm putting between me and my relationship with the light? My standing in the light? My living in the light? Breathing in the light? I think that's a good question. Because I know it's, for me, it's true that I have my signature standing in the way. Expressions. Or it would be something like, well, if I just, I think a lot of times, for me, and I know where I got this, but there's, when I look in there, sometimes what surfaces is there's this belief I'm not quite good enough, or I need to be just a little bit better, or just in a different situation, or feeling just a little bit better. I need to wait for that perfect moment. I need to wait for that perfect moment, and then I can be fully aware of the light. What if all of that thinking, way of thinking, was a myth? And God knows it, and God's just waiting for us to realize that now is a perfect moment. You don't have to be different. You don't have to be feeling different. I can remember in 8th grade giving a book report. And it was to be done in front of the class of about 30. And for the first time in my life, when I got up in front of a group of people, I had a panic attack. And I had no idea why I was having the attack or what to do. I knew it took every fiber of my strength to not burst out crying. And that would have been like, I would have rather died than burst out crying. Because then people would ask me what's wrong, and I'd have to tell them I have no idea what's wrong. And then they would think I was crazy. What made that so difficult for me at that time? What made it difficult was I had the belief that I should be different. I should be experiencing something different than I was experiencing at that moment. That was the creation of my pain and suffering. And thus began my beginning to separate myself from what was so. So the question would be, well, was the light present with me in that panic attack? And I know the answer now is yes. The beloved was standing right there with me. Can you imagine? I don't know about you, but when I envision the beloved standing there with me, there in 8th grade and with that panic attack going on, it changes the whole thing. And maybe that's what we're doing here. We're learning that the beloved is with us, in us. The interesting thing about that panic attack is at that time, the beloved standing by me did not interfere with my experience. Think about that. Which seems to tell me that I'm here with you, I'm going to go through this with you. But I'm not going to take away your learning opportunities. But I will give you the strength to go through them so you can gain and benefit and learn and receive the gift that's here for you. Now that's love. That's someone who has my best interests at heart at all times. Would never do anything to harm me in any way, but would do all things to uplift me and bring me into all that I am, so that I come to that place where I know it, not that I hope it, not that I think it, not that I believe it, but that I know it. So with that, I guess we could say, may we travel on knowing that God is with us, for us. And we're going home. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan, for such rich reminders of and the opportunity to experience the Comforter today. And Teresa will provide us with a piece of music.
Okay. I was feeling this one. Would sadness go away? Find a spell to my greed and gave it all to someone else in need. Would hatred disappear if I planted the seed, gave my love to those who made me bleed? And I'm so tired of this pain, and no one understands my need, the need for change. If I walked the pilgrim's path, could I become a saint and give myself completely to his strength? Could I see all my faults as a chance to love? Would it make me wise, make me humble enough? And I'm so tired of this pain, and no one understands my need for change. And if I loved the world enough, could I see the face of God? Could I see the face of God? Could I see the face of God.
Thank you, Teresa. And at this time, we go into our donation of love and light, again by taking a breath together, placing our hands on our heart, becoming increasingly aware of that love and light that lives within us at all times, even when we are not aware of it. And now we open up to allow it to expand beyond ourselves, to be shared with each other, to bring a sense of belonging to each other, and to be shared beyond us to whoever can benefit. And so it is. And we will finish with a piece of music from Teresa Storch.
I really liked the part where you talked about sort of getting in your own way in a sense, I think, Dan. So that's how we can get out of the way and see the light, or be the light, feel the light, however it works. So I've lived with my dial up to 9, my gauge well up past the red line, my hand against my fist, my hand against my fist, my hand as I resist. So I've learned I can lie all the time. Once I've earned it, they would still believe the next time. My hand against my fist, my hand against my fist, my hand as I resist. Water falling down on my face. Is this place real or just a miracle? Could we be made full of grace? What is that pounding? My hand against my fist, my hand against my fist, my hand as I resist. Ego will not land here, not if I can stand it. It's the smell of fear to my mind. This time I won't go blind. When is it enough? The stuff of the world holds my hand against my fist. So I scale the wall made by me for one last look at that ocean view I've seen in my life, but never in my dreams. My dreams